everyone, and welcome into the first Miami RedHawk Football Weekly of the 2023 campaign. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks. Miami suffering a 38-3 loss at the hands of the Hurricanes of the University of Miami on Friday night down in Miami. And head coach Chuck Martin joins us. And Coach, I remember asking you last week at Hawk Talk three things about the Hurricanes. You said they're long, they're athletic, and they're fast. And they showed all three of those on both sides of the ball the other night. And really, it made it difficult on just about every facet of the game for the team.
Yeah, they're, again, credit Miami, Florida. They kicked our butts. There's no doubt about it. They physically whooped us. Size, strength, and speed. We knew going in, they have some of the more talented guys around. Yeah. And they took advantage. Sometimes they blocked us. Sometimes, we couldn't block them. Sometimes they tackled us. Sometimes we couldn't tackle them. That's all. We knew that going in. There was going to be some plays that their talent was going to allow them to make. Obviously, at this point, I think from our standpoint, is our execution on both sides of the ball was not near what it needs to be to play that type of foe and stay in the game and find a way to win it. You got to find a way to stay in that game, put some doubt in their mind, and then make some big plays, and then making some critical mistakes. We did not do that. We didn't execute on either side of the ball. We didn't play physical enough on the other side of the ball. And again, we were already up against it from physicality, and we didn't play as physical as we need to play. So disappointing from that standpoint. We did not play our best football. They're a very talented team, not taking anything away from Miami, Florida. They're a talented team. Every time we were not in position on offense or defense to do what we're trying to do, their athleticism took over and made big plays. Tough physical matchups, right? It gives you a good barometer of what your strengths and weaknesses are. There are guys that had nice games for us, but not near enough. Offensively, we could not run the football at all. Defensively, that's the worst we've defended the run in years here.
Right.
And again, credit to Miami. They're big and physical. They have a tremendous offensive line. They retooled an offensive line, and that's the best offensive line we've seen since Ohio State way back when we played the Buckeyes. So I'm not, again, tons of credit what we are up against, but again, when you play that talented a group, you better be perfect with your alignment assignment technique. You better have an edge to your defense. Offensively, you better take great first step, have great pad level, and play with utmost physicality. At times we did, and held our own. At times we didn't and got overwhelmed. So we have a lot of work to do, and we're planning on doing it this week.
For you offensively, you're going against a team that in me looking at the Hurricanes, obviously very talented, but there's four solid NFL players here, two first-round safeties, and an offensive lineman and our defensive lineman and a linebacker that seem to be making most of the plays. And when they can go man and stay with them, they put 7 people in the box. It's going to be a long night anyway.
Yeah, we always talk about, can you run the football offensively? Because if you could run the football, it was their pass game. We threw it 25 times, we ran it 24 times. We probably shouldn't have ran it 24 times. I was pretty stubborn, which we're going to stay with it because we have to run the football. We didn't get anything much out of our run game. Right. We didn't get a ton out of our throwing game either, but there was at least more opportunities there. And then defensively, we want to stop the run and try to make them one-dimensional, which we didn't. They're running the ball efficiently the whole game, rushed for well over 200 yards in the game. Now, you're not in those second and third and longs where you can get more in pass coverage mode and get after them. Now the pass game's over. So our inability to run the ball made us one-dimensional. Their ability to run the ball put our defense on the heels all game. And that's, as we always say, the game is played and won and lost in the trenches. And, their quarterback had tons of time to throw it. Our quarterback didn't have tons of time to throw it. So we did some nice things defensively, particularly in the first half. We certainly got worn down. As the game went on, we certainly started to try to do too much in the second half, and we're out of position at times, and you saw it live, and we saw watch on tape, kids. So we got plenty of stuff to clean up mentally and physically, and like I said, we're planning on doing it this week.
First half highlights coming up here as the game started with a little bit of a lightning delay, so about a 22-minute delay in the start time. And it didn't start too well for the RedHawks as the Hurricanes get a big touchdown return, setting them up in good stead. And then on the 2 plays later, they found a talented Colby Young. And, Coach, we talked about talent and speed, and Colby Young shows all of that here.
Yep. Yeah, no, he's gifted, and they got a quick screen out, and they blocked a couple guys up pretty good. their center got out. Their center shouldn't have got out. We should have got hands on their center, but they make a big play right off the bat.
They get the touchdown, but after that, the defense kind of settles down. Didn't give up another touchdown the entire first half. And you see it there as Kobe Hilton comes in the middle, makes a big play. And here, Oscar McWood.
Yeah, no. Again, defense settled in. They definitely, like we said at post game, they played pretty darn good in the first half, and they kept us in it. We should have went in 13-3 at halftime and try to get something going on offense and try to win a game. Obviously, second half got away from us, but good stop here on third down by our defense. And again, getting them in some third and longs. Here's another 3rd and 7, which is so critical to having success. And then good job corralling and running to the football, because again, when it was one-on-one tackles, it was up. That's what we got to do, and at times we didn't do. We didn't run the ball with the right angles and gave up some bigger plays.
Great, best defensive play of the night here by Michael Dow.
Yeah, really good job. Did exactly what coach ran a takeaway, the flat, nothing shows in the flat. Saw the quarterback's eyes looking down the field, got some depth, sunk deep underneath the crossing route and picked it off. And again, perfect example of executing the defense, doing exactly what's being coached, and then physically making a great play at the end with a leaping, diving catch.
Great athleticism there. And there were some offensive highlights here. Gage Larvidan for 10 yards gets you down the field from your own 25-yard line.
Yeah, not a lot of first half highlights. I think we had 2 or 3 first down. Gage had a really nice game for us, 8 catches in his first game. Good job by Joe Wilkins blocking on the perimeter there. Did a really nice job to spring Gage.
And you get him here again over the middle for 30 yards on the quick cross.
Yep. Nice execution, good protection. You'll see here, Brett's got a really nice pocket to throw the ball. Good quick release, good route, beating man coverage, and turn it into a big play for us. And
that'll lead to the only score of the game for the Miami RedHawks. And again, a look at that Larvidan catch here, and so impressive is his speed. And after he catches the ball, knows what to do with it. And then the 48-yarder from Graham Nicholson would be the score for Miami.
Yeah, Graham's only chance to put points on the board. He did. Great kick from 48 yards. Split the uprights, playing distance, probably good from 55 or more. And Graham continues to do what he did. And like we talked in the press conference, our special teams outside that opening kickoff was not a very good play for us. We really did a nice job on ST the rest of the way.
Yeah, we'll talk about the second half and look ahead to the UMass Minutemen. That's the opponent this Saturday in Amherst, Massachusetts. We'll come back with more in a moment. Stay with us.
Living with joint pain isn't easy, but lately dealing with it has felt even harder. So you've been putting up with it. That stops today. Today you stand up for yourself and say enough, and we solve it. Because we have the solutions to get you back on your feet. You're ready. It's your time. Visit mercy.com/ortho to make an appointment and get started with your joint replacement today. Mercy Health. Healthcare for the universe of you.
Yeah.
Done with that pizza box, Krusty? Clean side gets recycled, greasy side gets trashed.
Make your recycling count. Rocky.
And we are back on RedHawk Football Weekly. Happy to have you with us. Steve Baker, head coach Chuck Martin joining you once again here. And Coach, going into the locker room, UMass gets a last-second field goal going into the locker room, makes it 16-3. But even then, it's a ball game at that point. Your defense has done the best job they could at keeping them to field goals. While I'm sure you didn't feel great, you had to feel like, okay, we're still in this thing.
Yeah, it really felt good when Graham made the field goal, cut it 13-3. I thought we're getting dominated statistically here,
right,
and we're down 10 points because our defense has done a good job after that first few quick plays. They kept them off the board for the last 29 minutes of the first half as far as touchdowns go. So we were in the game. Last field goal obviously built a little more momentum for mine, but we're still within 2 scores. Just have to find a way at that point to, we hadn't done anything on offense, and,
right,
and if you don't, the game's going to get out of hand, and we did not get enough done on offense in the second half either, and kept putting our defense out there, and then they got worn down as the second half went on, and it turns out to be a lopsided score in the end of the game. So disappointed from an offensive standpoint. We need to carve out a better existing run game, even against the Hurricanes. We need to run the ball better, and then we got to execute better in the passing game. We didn't do either at an acceptable level at all. So we've got a lot of work to do on that side of the ball. Defense, again, like the effort in the first half, like we talked about. Did they get worn down? Yes. did they try to do too much? There's some guys trying to make some plays in the second half and got out of position, just trying to thinking, hey, we're down 2 scores, we're down 3 scores. I got to try to do something spectacular, which is what happens, and that's how games become more lopsided. It's a lot of our mental mistakes on defense were in the second half, but more of a product of, you're looking at the score and you're saying, I got to make something happen, So special teams are good throughout. Like I said, the opening kickoff was a bad play by us. It's a correctable play. We'll get that corrected. Bevelheimer had a punt with Zobin being out and did a tremendous job punting the football. And then our coverage on the punt with the scary returner. Yeah. Again, anytime we gave a Miami Florida skill guy space, there's a big play.
They're going to make it.
I mean, you saw it live. It didn't matter. The first kickoff we gave him space and he turned into a big play. Yeah. Defensively, when we didn't give him space, we were fine. When we gave him space, it was a big play. So as well as Bev punted, it was really critical that our coverage unit covered as well as they did, because now you got a really good returner with some room.
Right.
They did a great job. Obviously, Graham's only opportunity bangs home a 48-yarder right off the bat, first kick of the year.
Yeah.
And so our one and only kickoff return, Kevin Davis creased him for a nice return. So again, doesn't amount to a lot in a 38-3 lopsided defeat. But again, we always look at everything realistically and critically and say, listen, that's in a close game. Those specials, flipping the field on punting, making long field goals, having good kickoff returns, that's the difference between winning and losing. So we're very, very pleased with that portion of the game for us. That's the only portion that we felt like we played up. Defense was certainly much better than the offense, no doubt about that. Offense was terrible. We got a lot of work to do on both sides of the ball to get a lot of things cleaned up this week.
Playing in Miami, and again, we talked last week about the heat and that sort of stuff. I had forgotten what that kind of humidity feels like, and that's probably worse than the heat. But the shower kind of eliminated some of that for the game, and it rained on and off during the game. Regardless, you had to use a lot of guys because of, I'm sure, the temperature, keeping them fresh, that sort of thing. Injury-wise, I know we lost Jack Coldiron for the season, it looks like. You mentioned that in your press conference. But other than that, just really physical football game.
Yeah, no, definitely physical football game. Again, played a lot of guys on defense. Defense played a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
All right, we put them on the field too much offensively. They played a lot of snaps. So we used a lot of our depth. A lot of guys played. A lot of guys got opportunity, which, again, there's always positives, even to a royal butt kick, and there's positives.
Yeah.
We got a lot of guys in the game, and some of those guys were their first game experience.
Games.
And, again, you talked to them yesterday about, hey, what was it like? A lot different than high school, So, again, that part was wonderful. Not that we wanted to play our twos in the fourth quarter and give those kids an opportunity. That was not the goal, but it was a byproduct. Offensively, we didn't play. We ran 49 plays. We didn't get the ball. Like, none of our skill guys got the ball enough,
Yeah.
And if you don't execute, you don't get first down, you don't run plays. Like, we weren't necessarily tired offensively because we didn't do our job offensively. So one side of the ball got a lot of reps, a lot of good work, a lot of guys in the game, a lot of good rotations, a lot of kids played and contributed. The other side of the ball, we wanted to play more guys and spread the ball around more and get more touches for everyone. We had 39 touches in the game between completions and carries. Well, I've got 10, 12 skill guys that can play. Well, do the math. That's 3 or 4 touches a person. We want to try to get guys 10, 15 touches in the games, but you can't do that if you're that inefficient on the offensive side of the ball.
Let's take a look at the second half highlights as the RedHawks get the ball about midway through the third quarter, and the toss goes to Jack Coldiron. RedHawks facing a 3rd and 7 here, and one of the rare times a conversion on third down, Coach.
Yeah, good throw and catch. Unfortunately, DB took Jack low there and most likely ended the season. So this will be the next thing that leaves football. We'll be hitting guys below their knees on cutting tackles. But it was a great throw and catch. Got us a big first down.
Later on in the fourth quarter here, Rashad Amos gets in the game, and this is good for 23 yards, one of the largest runs of the night.
Yeah, really well blocked. Rashad explodes through the hole. Really good vision, good cut, good downfield blocking, great stiff arm. We're excited about Rashad. Rashad had 8 carries. We'd like to get Rashad 15 carries. We'd like to get all our backs. We'd like to get 35 carries in a game, but didn't run the ball good enough to be able to do that. So that was a nice run and nice, well-blocked play.
Didn't get a whole lot here, but still got a good push. 3 yards on this one. It was 2nd down and 8. And then a great pass to Javon Tracy, who had fallen down and still made the catch.
Yeah, great catch. Slipped on the play, can't slip, but really nice focus, really nice catch. We had one drop in the game. Other than that, we really caught the ball and made some contested plays. So we know we can catch the ball. We got a good group of running backs, tight ends, and receivers that all catch the ball well. And it should allow us to be way more efficient throwing the football.
Later on, 3:43 to go, and Avion Smith in the game at quarterback, and a deep pass on the left side, 37 yards to Cade McDonald.
Yeah, great throw and catch. Great to get Avion in. Really, really confident. Came in the game. I know it's a lopsided score, but totally different than a year ago. He's worked so hard. And then another newcomer, Cade McDonald. Really good tracking. Great throw by Avion. Great finish by Cade. Huge chunk play.
And Jordan Brunson, you go deeper in that running back lineup. Another big body up there. He's going to bust it up the middle for 15.
Yeah, got a good push here again. And we have very capable backs. And we're very deep in the backfield. So Jordan it's good to get him out there for his real first action in Miami. He makes a really nice run.
And he gets a couple of carries late in the ball game. He picks up 7 here for the RedHawks, and you're looking at the final score there. 38-3 is the final for the Miami RedHawks, who move on to UMass coming up this Saturday afternoon, 3:30. We're on the air at 2:30 to bring you all of the action on the Miami Sports Network. We'll come back and talk about the Minutemen when we return in just one moment.
Yeah.
Done with that pizza box, Krusty? Clean side gets recycled, greasy side gets trashed.
Make your recycling count. Rocky.
This segment of RedHawk Football Weekly is brought to you by Courtyard Marriott in Hamilton. Located in the heart of Butler County and only 13 miles from Miami University, the Courtyard Marriott in Hamilton is the ideal location when traveling to the Miami campus. With modern style and spacious
And we are
guest
back
rooms,
to our final
journey
segment
to
on this week's
relaxation at the
inaugural
Courtyard
edition for
Marriott,
2023
a proud
of Miami
part
RedHawk
of
Football
Miami
Weekly.
Athletics.
I'm Steve Baker, and joined once again by head coach Chuck Martin. Miami on the road this week, again taking on UMass. It's a 3:30 kick in Amherst. Myself and Terry Bridge will have it on the Miami Sports Network, driven by Performance Honda and Performance Toyota at 2:30. And Coach, the Minutemen, the second team, kind of rebuilt throughout the season. They have 4 veteran offensive linemen, a returning quarterback, and but still a lot of new bodies out there. I know watching, just on the internet and seeing all the posts, they really went out to go get players and rebuild from this team last year.
Yeah, there are guys that are returning, are bigger, stronger, and better, and within the system again for another year, which as you build your program, which Coach is doing. And then, too, they've added, like everybody in the country's added new good players.
Yeah.
They've got a really good tailback, a really good wideout, a really athletic quarterback. They do a really good job in the run game with pre- and post-snap movement, a lot of misdirection with formations and zooming guys and flying guys all over the field. So they stress you with your eyes and mentally with you're going to have to adjust pre-snap. You get lined up, then they're going to move. You're going to have to adjust on the fly, and it's a lot of quick motions.
Right. And
then you have a running quarterback, which always adds that element. He's a tremendously talented running quarterback. So they're much improved on the offensive side of football this year. In their couple games they played, they've done much better job than they did a year ago of moving the ball on the ground really efficiently, and then also making big plays in the pass game. They got electric wideout, like we said. Defensively, really aggressive. Big, strong, physical front and linebacking group that play north and south. They really do a good job of disrupting and getting in the backfield and penetrating. They got a couple really good corners. They play a lot of man, and they put the corners on islands, and they do a really good job in their press man stuff. And then real aggressive at the safety position. A lot of pressures. They're 3 down, they're 4 down. They mix up their looks. They bring tons of pressures. And they really get after you on defense. And again, as they continue to grow and get better, the Achilles of being real aggressive on defense is you give some big plays. Last year they gave a lot of big plays through the first week against New Mexico State. They made all the big plays. They got the turnovers. They got the pick 6 on defense. They had another interception that set up a short drive for a touchdown. So their aggressive style, as they continue to get better and more used to their system, is paying off. Obviously, they played Auburn last week. We know what that's like.
A little tougher game.
Auburn has some dudes and made some contested plays, but they still got after Auburn and still played very hard. Just again up against a little bit from a size, strength, and speed standpoint.
UMass 1-1 on the season. 41-30 was their victory over New Mexico State in week 0, and they fell to Auburn on Saturday, 59-14. You mentioned the running quarterback, really a dual threat. And I'm not going to try and pronounce the name without looking at the pronunciation guide, but has thrown for 247 yards and rushed for 130. totally different kind of look than Tyler Van Dyke gave you, because Tyler's pretty much a pocket passer. You had an extra day to kind of rest up and get ready for that, and I'm sure that helps in planning when offensive schemes change, as drastic as what we're going to be looking at next Saturday.
Yeah, big difference for our defense. Obviously, you love the extra game from a preparation standpoint, for sure. We also love it from healing those very physical games, so you get that extra day of recovery, which is so important. And then, like you said, really different contrasting styles of offense.
Right.
One more of a pro style drop back passing game, a lot of quick screens and throws. And then the other one is it's a quarterback oriented offense. Everything is worked off their run game, and then they run their play actions off their run game, and everything flies from there. So completely different style. So again, nice for our defense to have an extra day to sink their teeth in and get our kids defensively more similar to Miami, because Miami was a 4-down and 3-down team. They did both. UMass a 4-down, 3-down team. Not exactly the same pressures, but Miami was a huge pressure team.
Yeah.
And UMass really likes to pressure. So we did not handle the Miami pressure as well as we would like. So we're going to have to handle the UMass pressure a lot better than we did last week if we want to have success on offense.
Coach, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Peyton.
Hey, Coach Chuck Martin joining us. And again, 3:30 is kickoff Saturday from Amherst. Myself and Terry Bridge have the call beginning at 2:30. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Miami RedHawk Football Weekly.
This segment of RedHawk Football Weekly is brought to you by Courtyard Marriott in Hamilton. Located in the heart of Butler County and only 13 miles from Miami University, the Courtyard Marriott in Hamilton is the ideal location when traveling to the Miami campus. With modern style and spacious guest rooms, journey to relaxation at the Courtyard Marriott, a proud partner of Miami Athletics.